a battleground where they have the capability to win. So by no means, don't look at the brand value of MIBR and think this is going to be a sitter for them. This is not going to be as simple as that by any means. We'll start on Dust2. PLANO on the T side then. MIBR being very active indeed. They're doing a B split on the CT side of the halls, and they'll find it clear. And they've got the time to rotate also. Pop into for Julie's, having a look-see, spotting a number of players towards that short position. But now the CTs find themselves out of position. And what's Younger going to do? She may have to fall back towards long and try to hold it for the retake. There is a lurker on long, but towards the site she heads. Awkward scenario for her, but she will be able to pop Little Z and get the opening frag of the series. CT's coming through on short, and they've got a 5-on-3 before that bomb's even planted. Finally, the flank's coming in from long, and Younger's been dropped. The bomb's planted. This is going to be a high-pressure situation then for PLANO. They need to overperform at this point. However, Tynan still has the flash, and I'm sure she's waiting for that smoke to go, but Regian's fallen from that short position. So how do they make this work? Oh, okay, she's dropped the flash to her teammate. She can throw it, and she can swing from the boxes, and Regian may swing with Tynan now. Sophia drops in that flash, but it needs to find these frags quickly. Smoke is up, and that could work in their favor. As Tynan finds two onto that bomb is ticking. Gabby's got the kit. She's in the smoke, and Regian doesn't have the angle. Can Sophia get there in time? Absolutely not. MIBR steal it after a good start and a promising comeback for PLANO in the smoke. Gabby will clutch the round.
Oh, that's a devastating way for that round to end for PLANO because they did so much into that one. I like the way that MIBR played it. I like that they take that more aggressive push out of B long. They're able to get a ton of early information, knowing exactly where PLANO are, looking to push. They can double back. They can, create that pincer maneuver. It's all perfect. But unfortunately for PLANO, despite, getting that bomb down and getting into a decent position, the timing was just not on their side.
For those aged Counter-Strike players who know the palm tree flash from a goose position, actually, it'll be time to explain that later. For now, we have a flash point in that short area as Sophia goes for the crouch peek, and there will be no trade initially. 2-for-1 is fantastic for the CT side. They'll take that all day. 3 remain for PLANO. They have established that short presence. Now Poppins will focus towards long. She just walked through the doors. Find out what is happening. Regian, though, has a good angle, but cannot find the headshot. The dream is collapsing then for PLANO. This is a 4-spy round for them. They will soon be broke if they can't turn things around. As Bokor drops Poppins, Gabby will leave only Little Z remaining. 1 versus 3. She has the bomb. She has some utility, but really she needs to win a duel, ideally, before getting that bomb planted. But Younger's heading back towards that long position. Just wondering if anybody's there. Was she just spotted? Footsteps being made. There is time to clear out this position, but Younger is quicker on that trigger finger. They both ring the bell, but Younger gets that last headshot to keep the clean sheet for MIBR.
Ooh, things are getting a little bit stressful here for PLANO. We spoke a little bit about how they don't often save, and perhaps there was a moment there where 1 or 2 players could have turned back and said, all right, let's see. But, it's second round. You've got a little bit of an advantage off of the bomb plant, getting a few kills in that previous round. You want to try and push that as far as possible. So, we'll leave it for now. We'll see if they can recover as they do come into this next round with a Tech 9, but Goddess is ready and waiting.
The dry round then for PLANO. So the palm tree in the goose position on the A bomb site. In CSGO, you could throw a flash behind the palm tree, just a directly upwards flash. And because the palm tree wasn't solid, whoever's coming in from short couldn't see the flash behind the palm tree, but it would blind them. The same thing still works in CS2, so it is one of the options if you find yourself stuck on the A-bomb site. If you're shift walking back, left and right click throw directly up, and it will do the job for you. One of many options. 3 kills for Gabby so far. Off to a prompt start on Dust2, coming in hot. Is Gabby and the rest of MIBR so active on their CT side, which is great to see. You cannot afford to be static in CS2. That much is for sure.
I think that really goes doubly for your CTs just because of how the economy's changed. So you know that if you start backsliding, the advantage that gets given over to the Ts is unreal. So you need to try to maintain that control as much as humanly possible. And that's definitely something that MIBR are very much cognizant of. And they're trying to take full advantage of every, well, advantage that they get. Now round 4, Younger has picked up that AWP. We'll see if she can get some value out of that one. She's bested Little Z every round so far. Can she do it again?
Here come the numbers. That flash goes just in time, though. Now Goddess could be the bait as Poppins will swing, but is she able to get anything from this? Oh, swing and a miss from Younger. And that's going to be a very expensive round for the CTs. This is the door open for PLANO. Not for this round, but for the coming rounds as well. As the money is a very mixed bag for MIBR, who almost never stop moving. Still plays to make. And Gabby finds herself in the clutch. There are some low health players here. If she can dispatch them quickly, then maybe there is a clutch to be had, but there is a flash to be eaten and some headshots to be receiving. First round on the board for PLANO.
It's a great time for them to turn things around as well. You know, losing that round would have put them in such a devastating position economically, and they've done some serious damage to MIBR's economy as well. Okay, they only got 1 kill in the round before, so that didn't do terribly much, but, you know, it did force a little bit of a reinvest. You come into this round, and now they're going to have to reinvest again, and if you can win this one, well, you've brought it down to only a 1-round deficit, and suddenly MIBR are struggling to get a buy together. So this is a great time.
Did you see that?
Yeah. The weird crumple.
Spawn.
Yeah.
We need someone to send the amber lamps.
Call an ambulance, but not for me, you know.
We need a paramedic.
Well, whatever happened, they're clearly having fun with it. Not too stressed out just yet. Again, right, really early on in the map, so very difficult to call. I hope that PLANO can pull it back. I hope that they can make it a really close series, especially because I mentioned that they've had some inconsistencies this season. So if there was ever a time to kind of pull your socks up, this would be it.
I think they'll rise to the occasion versus a stronger team. You can see they're in good spirits. It's got a lot to say. So they definitely understand the opportunity afforded to them by the win of that round. But again, very, very good spirits. They are absolutely ready. They're not feeling pressured in a negative way or anything like that. You know, these teams have all faced each other before. They're all familiar with each other. But the body language shows confidence in self across the board here for PLANO, and that is fantastic to see. Game is just starting. If you are just joining us, you are in for a big match. So PLANO have the opportunity to give MIBR their first loss. And that would put them in for a fighting chance of making it to finals. So this is an important match for them. And MIBR understand this. They know that this opponent is a threat.
I think the best part of this is the fact that, so if PLANO beat MIBR and MIBR beat Furia, and then PLANO beat, wait, who's their next opponent? Essentially, there is a world in which we have a 3-way tie for first place. Essentially first and second, which I think that the odds are fairly slim, but it's possible. And that makes me so excited because I think that would be the most contested we've seen South America in a few seasons. And it all really hinges on this match, on PLANO taking this win against MIBR. And I know that I predicted MIBR to win, and I still think they will. But, you know, the heart's busy going, come on, PLANO, make it spicy. Make them really work for it.
There's Poppin still not singing into a shower bottle, which is good. I thought, okay, all right, I've got MIBR. I'm going to have to watch this film. But what I did was I looked at the songs on YouTube, and then I saw there were 20 songs. I'm like, God, I'll just have to pick one then.
There's so many songs.
Yeah, I just picked. I got into 2 songs, and I thought, okay, I can't really do
Well, so she did tell me which were her songs that she was singing.
Let's not make it more complicated. I'm just going to have to guess, okay?
How's that making it more complicated?
Leave me in the dark, fam. Leave me in the dark.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. I will say that one of the songs that she I won't tell you which one it is, spoilers, but one of them is one that I used to love when I was a kid as well, because High School Musical came out when I was a kid, because now I'm a boomer.
Baby Zac Efron.
But, oh, Lord, yes. Bless him. To be
should have
fair,
trained
he's
him once,
still
not that I
looking
cared.
like a baby. That hasn't changed terribly much. Okay, so I went and I double checked. Furia's next 2 matches are against Creme Sour Las and Masitas. Now, as good as Masitas have looked, I don't think they're Furia good. So my hopes and dreams of a 3-way tie for first place are slowly shattering. But we might still see our 2-way tie for second place, because MIBR faces Furia in the very last week of the season. And aside from that, they're playing Bounty Hunters, who have not been having the best season. So MIBR should go flawless in the last 2 weeks. This week is still a bit of a question mark. We're not entirely sure. Are they actually going to beat PLANO, even though we think that they should? But their next 2 matches should be, or rather their next match should be fairly simple. And then it's the match against Furia. So very definitely could have some upset potential. I love thinking about the permutations. I love thinking about the possibilities of a brand new Queen of South America.
Here's a question for you.
Go on.
Where is Olga going to go when she comes back to South America?
Ooh, that's tough. I think so. Ideally for Olga, she wants to be on a Furia or an MIBR. But I think that those 2 teams are already so incredibly strong. And then you start to think, okay, well, what about PLANO? And like, who do you replace on PLANO? Who do you bring in that you think? I mean, Olga is
kind of like simple as Na'Vi. Like, the team's working so well. You know, what do you do now? Anyway.
Although, to be fair, Wonderful was great. So
answers on a postcard. We resume. MIBR 3-1. PLANO with an opportunity to break. There is very limited utility here for this CT side. Younger is not going to get punished for that AWP shot, but you never know what's around the corner. Despite that, Danny will be dropped elsewhere, and Younger will be forced from her angles. There's nobody on long outside of that smoke, so MIBR really need to try and hold on to this short position. She sees 3 and gets nothing from that, and this is pretty much the round over. The remaining 3 have got to try and find a way to save these firearms, but that might not be so easy with the bomb only getting planted now and 5 people alive for PLANO. But again, if they can keep 3 alive, they can drop. But even if they drop, like, what's their utility going to look like? Because you saw that felt very nervous for them. They just didn't have enough utility to hold everything as you normally would, and that will still be the case. I mean, Gabby's got a good amount on her, but that's 1 player. So their problems will continue in the next round.
But at least we are seeing them go for that save. Or we spoke about it a little bit earlier, right? They're one of the teams that really does lean into it a lot more. So that should stand them well into the next few rounds. But this is that concerning point that we were talking about just before we had that little bit of a tech issue. The fact that PLANO now have brought the deficit to only 1 round and have put themselves in prime positions, lean into it a lot more. So that should stand them well into the next few rounds. But this is that concerning point that we were talking about just before we had that little bit of a tech issue. The fact that PLANO now have brought the deficit to only 1 round and have put themselves in prime position here to come back into this. That being said, I think that if there was any team that was going to string something together with a crazy, non-buy, it's going to be MIBR. And just a quick update, because this is actually really crazy. The Bounty Hunters Masitas game is currently 6-3 in favor of Bounty Hunters. That's nuts. Like, I would love to know what is actually going on there. If you want to know, we obviously have one of our community streams going. So make sure to check that out, because that is a very surprising kickoff to that matchup. I wasn't expecting that. I thought Masitas had that in the bag.
Gonna admire these knives while we have a pause. The bayonet fade. Who has that? One of them has a bayonet fade. I had one until recently. Might be Little Z. It's one of the T's to bayonet fade. I feel like CS2 doesn't do it justice versus CSGO, so I got rid of mine for a stat track karambit with no skin on it. Ooh. Which looks cool because I got rid of my gloves. And if you have like stock gloves, there we go. If you've got stock gloves and a big fade knife, it looks really weird. It looks off. So now I've got no gloves and a karambit with no skin on it, and it completes the look. I've always been a connoisseur, Sam, but enough about me. 3-2 PLANO have got the wheels turning now, as you can see how awkward things are for MIBR. If they were to buy around what they saved, again, they wouldn't have the utility and so on. It would just be a really rough buy, and I think they understand that. So they're going to keep their money together so they can buy properly in a future round. Because again, if you're just scraping by round after round, then you're never going to have that good. I've said buy like 50 times, but anyway, it'll just make life really hard for them. But they've chosen to stack the correct bomb site. Gabby's got one flash. I feel like one of the people with the USP maybe should be holding that flash. Give your util to someone who can put you in a position to win. But you need some bait as well. No one's peeking. The PLANO being very, very patient. Okay, we've got one USP player swinging. There is the flash. And it's Danny who gets dropped one of the USPs. There's the other one. Only the rifles remain now. How much will they throw at this? There's still a minute on the clock before these T's start to make their way over. There was an incendiary for MIBR, which has been deployed. Let's not forget those incendiaries kind of suck versus the T equivalent. 53 seconds is plenty. Plenty of time for PLANO to deliver. Gabby now on a 1 versus 4 with the M4. Will only get the 1 kill. You can see PLANO are feeling the momentum of these rounds as they tie the score.
And that was a bit tough because it felt like that flash perhaps came out just that smidgen too early, but the fact that they don't really have any information makes it really difficult to get the perfect timing on it. And of course, Little Z manages to get that first kill, and that just completely opens up everything that they need into that one.
I think we also have to give credit to PLANO there for the pacing, not allowing themselves to fall into a trap, keeping the distance. They've got the AWPer in the pit. Even if the flash comes through, the AWPer's far enough away that they'll be able to punish anyway. So the pacing for PLANO there allows them to not fall into that trap. Trying to trade now. The bomb carrier chooses to fall back and is blocked by her teammate. That's all very awkward indeed. 3 players remain for MIBR as they try to defend this mid position. Poppins charging through. She's got more help from Younger. Has she been heard though? I don't know if she made a footstep. I don't know if her silencer was maybe showing, conceding her position. Down to a 2-on-2 though. This is tense for both. And that bomb might be through those double doors. That needs to be retrieved one way or another. It's on the floor for the time being with a minute on the clock. But as time goes on, MIBR may wonder if someone's coming round from the back. Could be A or B, but it's Littles with the crouch peek first. And Regian unable to punish so many bodies around those doors. But it's MIBR who moved to 4.
Oh, it's a free AWP for Younger as well. And I mean, that was great from Goddess. I love the more advanced position towards double doors, holding that close angle, and then everyone gets stuck in the funnel. And she's able to perfectly kind of play off of that, firing through the door and taking control of bomb. And then again, the patience to not swing straight into that AWP. I think there's a part of you that starts to itch a little bit and be like, we don't know what's going on. Should we be looking for information? Are they flanking around us? Like, what are we doing here? And instead, they keep the patience and they secure the round.
That's a great start by Danny. This should be a good hold on the B bomb site. Even if she falls, she's the bait because they've got a crossfire, but it might be the ace for Danny, and it will be. All 5 shut down. No one makes foot on terra firma in that B bomb site. They're all stuck in the tunnel, stuck in the choke point. Great spray to catch 2 in the beginning. Good support from the team as well. Though PLANO didn't stand a chance on that one.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one as well, because obviously they came into that one with a buy, obviously, but off the back of losing that previous round and, you know, it being quite expensive, things start to get a little bit sticky for them. I like these more advanced positions from MIBR. I like that they're not giving a lot of space over to a PLANO, rather kind of taking the fight to them. And it's working out really well for them. They're catching a PLANO off guard, stopping them from getting aggressive when they don't kind of want them to. And now with just a few pistols in hand and one kind of hero Galil, it's looking like MIBR could kind of double the scoreline here. And they've got 2 AWPs as well. Oh, just add insult to injury.
Looking for a split off the B bomb site. What can be awkward with double AWPs is when the opposite side have a buy like this and they're just charging at you. If you don't hit your shots, well, never mind, because they are hitting their shots. Leaving Sophia in a 1 versus 4. She has the B bomb site. Oh, Gabby! I told you she was nasty. Oh, let me see a replay of that. That was gross. No scope. I think that was a flick. That looked like a flick from the other perspective. And then I saw there was no scope involved. You know, we've been there before, but that looked really nasty. That was a big swing.
Yeah.
6-3.
Yeah, like obviously that being a round where PLANO didn't have too much into it, you have more opportunities to do flashy, crazy things, and that's, you know, really awesome. It's cool that Gabby had that moment. But now, you know, we get into a...
Oh, that's so clean.
No.
She went to the wrong barbershop for the haircut. Her whole head's gone.
Oof.
Beautiful work. Double AWPs continue. Continuing to hunt and abuse these sniper rifles. And how will PLANO solve this? There are 2 snipers on the server. Perhaps there's greater opportunity to close the distance somewhere. Now, they've got 2 smokes. Do they know the smokes to swing on short? There's a molly for to ramp up to the bomb site as well. So here comes the swing straight into the AWP. Those are important smokes to know. They've got 3 of them now. Goddess will be dropped. But again, Younger still standing here for free. Oof, that was almost another haircut. May give her more angles if she chooses to stand on the car. With short control, they will be able to plant the bomb below PLANO. Sophia's been lost though, 2 remain, and they've got to go and find these frags before the CTs collapse on them. But now Sinan's in a clutch. Sinan versus the world, trying to do what she can. It's being teased, pulled from pillar to post. There'll be no more frags in that round for PLANO.
That's an ace from Younger. That's outrageous.
Oh, nice.
And some of those with the USPs as well. Like she just had a stellar round.
Is that back-to-back
very,
aces
very
for
impressive.
MIBR?
Yeah, I think so. That's nuts.
That's not a
All
bad
right, so they're starting to kind of get back into the rhythm a little bit. Yeah, they kick off with a bit of a avalanche, and PLANO start to come back, and MIBR very quickly put a stop to that one, stamp it out, kill the light of hope. Speaking of, take a quick moment, but Bounty Hunters Masitas at 9-3 at the half in favor of Bounty Hunters on Masitas' map pick. Again, very surprising result. I was at 100% prediction accuracy coming into today. I think I'm going to lose that because that is a little bit outrageous, but we'll see how that pans out for now. I mean, we're on the cusp of our own 9-3 half as MIBR come into this one with a full buy into some upgraded pistols, but maybe those Tech 9s can cause some issues. Oh, Mac 10 as well. There you go.
Yeah, it's going to be hard on Dust2 unless they get shorts. If they're able to get these players out on long with some good flashes, then maybe. But Dust2's got better ranges to keep the rifles out of the hands. Oh, that's so nasty. Look at the damage that has done. There we go. She spotted the info. AWP is in tow as well. But this is awkward for MIBR because they don't really have short control here. So these players could be pinched. Oh, they may have made a mistake here. And that's exactly what is going to happen. They had nowhere to go. They just found themselves on an island. And now they're on the back foot. Goddess and Gabi trying to claw back what should have been an easier round for MIBR. Despite the HE in those long doors, it seemed to have worked out in PLANO's favor. 2-on-3, starting to get that bomb planted. Gabi waiting for someone to peek. Not sure if she's missed an AWP shot yet. Oh, Sophia A laboured spray, not quite getting the job done. Goddess alive with 12 HP, and she wins the duel eventually, leaving Little Zed alone. And she better have the right angle. Oh my word, if she just pulls the trigger cleanly. Pulls the trigger! Oh, you had to wonder if she would. Good timing. But now she needs to make an adjustment. Oh my god, where did that one go? Referee, what's happening?
There's no way. That looked like it should have been dead on for both of those shots.
Ooh.
Oh, that's devastating. Oh, man. How do you recover from that?
Well, she hasn't seen what we've seen.
Yeah, I suppose.
But bloody hell.
But yeah, I suppose there's a part of you that realizes like, oh man, that feels like that should have connected. So you kind of, yeah, all right, we go next, guys. Good, good try. And then you go back and you watch the VOD and you're just like, there's no way. There's just no way.
5-round lead for MIBR. Crikey, what happened there? I'm gonna download the demo and try to understand what's going on there. That's mad. Dropped on the short position. Danny with the M4 now. Just the 1-0 for MIBR in this round. Gubby's done showing us how talented she is with any weapon for the time being. Tynan faces 2 in CT spawn. That's an important frag. That's the bomb spotted on long doors. Some information for the CTs as they lose the player. And Younger's quickly over there to try and hold position, show some presence. And make it as difficult as possible for PLANO. You can see a bait set up now. Well, there was one. For this initial engager, Danny to pop out. Those 2-person CT setups are really important on all maps. It's such a strong feather in the cap if you can have that for your squad. 35 seconds on the clock. No one on the A bomb site. Youngest playing retake, and with an AWP, she is very well equipped to make this hard later on for PLANO. Now, will they be able to hold a short position? They will expect that they have to execute on that bomb site. Bokor dropped. Oh, Younger, be it Gabby. These AWP shots are absolutely landing in this first half, which concludes with a 9-3 scoreline in favor of MIBR.
Stop. Press play. You know I feel the same way. Something crawling under the surface.
Well, we weren't sure, but it does in fact end up as a 9-3 half in favor of MIBR. PLANO fought back in the beginning stages of that round, but unfortunately MIBR just quickly put a stop to it. Now looking to close out this first map in a pretty one-sided fashion.
Off to the races, swarming the A bomb site are MIBR, but yet to find Sinon and eliminate her from this round at the very least. Bomb is planted and CTs are on shore. We've got Sophia coming in for that flank, quickly dispatching of Goddess. Gonna compromise the angles for MIBR, but Goddess, Sophia has to think about her pacing and let her teammates run distraction, but they are getting dropped in the meantime. Danny really low on the bullets in the magazine. They're leaving, and now it's Boko in a 1 versus 2. Poppins and Gabby, 2 frags apiece. Who will get the third one, if either? Time is of the essence for Boko. I don't see her carrying a kit. She lands 1, but how can she win this round? Might just be about the bonus money of trying to get this frag. Too late to run away now and save your Kevlar. As she repositions, Gabby will drop her. She's having a hell of a game. Speaking of Gabby, again, that flick, I don't know if you saw it at halftime, but the AWP flick she got on that B bomb site. Look at that! Oh. Nasty whack.
That's insane. That's one for the real, for sure. I will say, like, props to Danny realizing that they're in a little bit of a dangerous situation, a bit of a deficit, kind of puts her body on the line, plays distraction so that Poppins behind her can get 2 frags and kind of even things out a little bit. And now Poppins will continue to be a thorn in the side.
I put my body on the line whenever I eat fast food.
Jeez, like,
which is not very often. All right, we've got one flash here for MIBR to understand if there is a stack on this bomb site. Simon plays little bait game. You don't really want to push this scout though from that long position. It's awkward. Although Little Z is the one who's been forced off the angle for the time being. Still an awkward scenario though with the numbers up. Oh, these double HEs. This is interesting. There's some BS that PLANO could get up to here. If MIBR, even if they take the site and they, I don't know, fall back, send a scout on a massive rotation towards long, which probably wouldn't work with how many people are alive. But a double HEs, I don't know, on the site, if you get the timing right as they cross, all sorts of fun to be had. Oh, there we go. It's only Regiane now though. Those tracers will be costly to her HP as she is punished for firing shots. Oh, so much potential for carnage. But here we are. MIBR survived the test, and we could have a fast second half if things keep going this way.
Ooh.
Nice work.
Yeah.
MIBR are just hitting every shot in this game so far.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice flash as well. Cool that they had that kept till the end, just to make sure that when you do swing that, you get the kill and you are not losing guns unnecessarily. It was a good call. A good call. But now we find ourselves at 11-3 with only 2 rounds left in this half, and PLANO put a little bit of spend into that previous round, which means into this one they have nothing, so it should realistically be another round for MIBR. Puts us at map point, and PLANO, sure, they'll be able to buy into the next round, but ooh, talk about an uphill battle, a Herculean task to say the very least. And they postured A and they've pulled back. Oh, might be the wrong read.
There's plenty of util for these Ts to eliminate these CTs. And again, the pacing will be important to avoid these shenanigans. Target practice for MIBR. There's going to be a hell of a comeback if PLANO are able to mount it here on Dust2. Younger looking very focused. Great game we've seen from MIBR thus far. Goddess and Danny racing for the highest frag count, although Gabby's not too far behind. She's got her homicide face on. She's focused. And MIBR find themselves at game point.
That's like back-to-back flawless rounds for MIBR. Just absolute menaces in the server. How does a PLANO come back into this? Can they come back into this? It's going to take a little bit of a miracle here.
I agree. I think it is miracle tier to recover from a deficit such as this. This was their map pick as well. With Nuke as a second map, then you start to worry. Although there were opportunities in this game, from what we've seen so far of it, which is probably most of it, there were opportunities that were missed by PLANO. There were learnings to be had. Let's have a look at the pace for MIBR now. Minute 10 on the clock. We've got the chain flashes as they look to burst out long, isolating the fights with that smoke as well, so the CTs can't support each other. Dismantling PLANO on A long. Really nice work from MIBR. Again, showing that they can just go deeper. Really nice stuff. Not over yet, though, as Little Z will get to work, and now Gabby will go on an investigation. See if she heads into the B-bomb sites. Makes sense for the CTs to be together when there's three of them, although the AWP can roam to some degree. The AWP can always roam. Great work. They can clear that position, and now we're off to the races. 3 on 3. They've got plenty of util for the retake here as well. You can... the money's been used towards short, actually, but you can bounce that off the window to that default plant spot on that B-bomb site, which can really help with the retake and compromise the positions that these can stand in. 2 HEs then, and a smoke grenade for PLANO. No flash will be really rough, but they must win this round. Now it is the smoke. Can they find any space to make their way in? Who goes first now? The AWP. Little Zed's going to take one for the team. Down to a 2-on-2. And Poppin finds herself in the clutch. Sophia will be the last woman standing and gets to the bomb in time. Yeah, she's got time to do this.
Yeah.
Just when you thought it was the end of the line for PLANO, they survive for one more round.
Sophia was actually, if I remember correctly, she was our MVP last week, I want to say, because she performed lights out. One of the best performances we've seen from an individual player. Just very, very impressive stuff. And it kind of makes sense that she would be the one to bring that clutch home. And that would have been a devastating way, I feel like, for PLANO to lose everything, because they had the advantage in that round and they held on to it. But once that bomb got planted, you know, trying to retake on the B site can be so difficult. Little Z getting revenge. Love that.
So important to have good util on the B bomb site when you've got a 3-person take of A, so you can stop this kind of punish. When the T side understand that you've put 3 people down long, you've got to have that utility to hold them back on the B bomb site, but both players get deleted really quick, and again, they're against the odds. Perhaps with some more utility this time, PLANO. That molly spreads so wide. Can't even line up the one that goes off the window. Molly for back boxes. Still a few flashes here for the CT squad. This was there looking to go in again and just absorb the bullets, but this time Younger will catch the second one, leaving Regiane. Oh, she rings the bell, but doesn't quite get the job done. Close, but not quite. Deficit too great. A huge map for MIBR.
And honestly, a devastating one, I think, for PLANO, just because they had a bit of momentum at the start of the map. They were building their way into it, starting to pull those rounds together, and then the next thing...
You can decide who you think between Furia and MIBR should win that matchup. But I think as far as like everybody else for MIBR, I would say that they are a favorite. But that doesn't mean that they can't lose. But so the journey of discovery for me here, I know I just asked this question, but I'm not going to give you time to answer it. The journey of discovery for me here is how far can PLANO push MIBR? And that could be beyond the limit, that could be to the limit, or that could be not far at all. They'll be starting on the CT side. Let's see if PLANO can have a successful pistol round and start the day off right. The sunny environment of Nuke on the outside, bright lights on the inside. Here in CS2, the door is open, but they'll mostly come through the huts, and Sophia will dispatch of Gabby very quickly indeed, just rattling off bullets after bullets, and that is a very brief push into A. And that's the start you want to see for PLANO looking towards the third map.
All right, let's continue that momentum. One round is not enough. They do deny that bomb plant, so they're going to be feeling very confident coming into this next round. They're going to be able to buy into this, put some cash behind it, put a little bit of oomph into it, a slew of utility. It's a full belt, and hopefully they'll be able to take quite a bit of that into the next round as well, as MIBR coming into this with very, very little hopes in their dreams and a couple of pistols.
Where does the HG go? Nothing doing. So little Z is basically ecoing as well to get the AWP.
Yeah.
But I think ideally she doesn't want to die in this scenario. And as Bokor is lost, now you start to wonder. Two frags basically with Glocks and a P250 is a lot. And they might not be done. I don't know if they can retrieve. I mean, obviously, Little Z had nothing to give them in that position on the ramp. I don't know if they can retrieve a rifle or anything. I don't recall what Bokor had, but PLANO don't want any more damage to be done in this round. That much is certain. Fine and patiently waiting. Could she be surprised? Oh, she sees the cap. She's a little isolated now, which means does she stand and fight or does she fall back? Oh, she's running low on the bullets. Oh my God. I was thinking, does she escape and play retake and give them a bomb plant? This is crazy how far they've gone. No time to reload that rifle here, but Younger with that P250 could do so much work. Regian down to 60. She could get one tapped by the P250. They're gonna win with pistols on an eco. And maybe PLANO were just stretching a little bit too thin. Oh dear. We spoke about rounds you can't lose and mistakes and so on, but this is the second round.
That's wow. I mean, considering how well they started that first round, being able to deny that bomb plant, winning the entire round outright, making sure that they come into this at a huge advantage in terms of weaponry, and then to fall at that hurdle, not even the final hurdle, man. That was the first hurdle. And they've already tripped up. And what that might do to their mental is another story entirely. You start to build up a little bit of confidence and suddenly it's snatched away.
I mean, what a crazy scenario Sinan finds herself in. Two players in heaven, awkwardly trying to tap. A very awkward scenario for her, running low on the bullets. Basically needs to leave the bomb site and play retake versus a pistol eco. I think that was for me, that was the right decision, because at least there you're probably securing the round. Dying on an island instead, running low on bullets. She was pretty much guaranteed to die at that point. Little Z conceding position, somehow still alive with that scout on the ramp. And again, maybe like with that pistol up close, I don't know. It fell to pieces there, maybe a little too greedy versus a team like MIBR. You can understand their urgency to get that AWP, but again, you can't, as I said before, you open a door for MIBR, they will walk through that door and slap you in the face. See if Goddess can hold on to her AK-47 in the meantime. Just about. She will be traded, but MIBR have position. They've got the numbers. And they will trade. 2 versus 3 though. Bomb plant not planted just yet. Surely they go for this. I feel like in so many retakes we've seen in this series thus far, Little Zed's been going in and kind of absorbing the bullets. They could maybe try and risk her with that scout, but it seems they will opt to hold on to it and the AK-47. Importantly, shift walking away. They don't want to be hunted. It's going to be a very difficult CT half, it feels like, for PLANO, as MIBR move to a 2-1 scoreline.
That's a fairly important save, I feel like. I'm glad that they opted to go for that save ultimately. Especially because obviously it was quite expensive to bring out the scout after losing that second round, and the potential kind of, not even potential, the economic reset that usually comes with that. So buying into that, very risky. The fact that they managed to hold on to it and bring it into this next round, not only that, but also managed to snag one of those AKs. They did a lot of damage, economic damage to MIBR. Not enough to obviously cause them any major discomfort currently, but if they can turn things back in their favor shortly, we could see them kind of cripple the economy. So this is a great potential springboard for them. It's gonna kind of come down to these open frags, and unfortunately that's the scout gone.
Hard day at the office for PLANO. See what kind of shape they can get their economy in. As MIBR really are off to the races here. Little Z will have enough of the AWP. So at this point, I would say the game begins now for PLANO. With the difficulties we saw prior. Nightmare rounds. But again, I think if you're going to have a round like that, better to have it early. Get it out of the way. Put some sports psychology on it. Yes, we effed up, but at least we did it at the beginning. Be way worse if you did it towards the end. Now they're on the bye, they can focus on that. Their worst round is definitely behind them. Little Z on the outside with the AWP. Important that she rotates her position with that. Regian not going to outstay her welcome. Drop Danny and escape the situation. MIBR will be keen for a trade frag. They don't want to give that to them. CTs can reposition as MIBR take hold of the ramp. Now, this final engage the first person. She'll have plenty of sound cues to get more people coming. Now, if there's support that can maybe open double doors or something, that could run distraction. PLANO's got a lot to do. They're lining up, but again, that numbers game is always going to be a problem. MIBR secure it with ease. 3-on-4 retake scenario for PLANO. How many people do they throw at this problem? They can afford to lose maybe one rifle here. There's Boko with the trade. 2-on-3, still awkward, but I think Little Z is upstairs, making her way down now. 1v3, and surely this is insurmountable. She will quietly slip away. I don't know if the team were in two minds as to whether they go for it or save, or if she was looking for a lurker. Either way, it will be a 4th round for MIBR.
Oh, unlucky. I was kind of hoping that, both... I was hoping that Bokor, after getting that kill, would be able to slip away. And then you have a 2-person save. You've got the AWP and the AK. So you've at least got something to show into the next round. And unfortunately, Bokor goes for the push. And to an extent, I understand it. You've given away your position. You kind of need to make a snap decision. And there's a good chance that they're going to be coming for you. So you want to kind of beat them to the punch. She loses that one out. Little Z attempts to go for the save. And I'm very curious about Nuke's stats and whether he takes into consideration attempted saves that then, get completely shut down. I'm sure he does. He's very good at what he does. But it was something that had occurred to me. You have a situation like that where you try, but MIBR go for the hunt. And now PLANO's economy is completely crippled. Very little to show into this one. And this is turning into a bit of a runaway for MIBR's T side.
Yeah, every round is worth 2 for MIBR at this point. I don't think there's much hope for PLANO in these rounds where they've got 5-7s, maybe a bit of Kevlar here and there. Very limited in what PLANO can achieve in a round such as this. It really piles on the pressure. not only for the buy round to come, but even if they are successful, they need to win a round after as well. Otherwise, they're just straight back into the bin. Good mid-round patience and pacing from MIBR. Cut noise, allowing the CTs to make their play, positioning to exploit. In the numbers game, they've always got that trade ready. It's definitely something PLANO need to think about. 5-1 for MIBR. Full buy is back for PLANO.
I feel like in another world, we'd be talking about how that was a really good eco. You know, they kill 4 people, tons of cash, doing some damage. But when you're already at a 4-round deficit, MIBR are just not feeling the pressure. I say that 2 of their players are below $2,000. So certainly chipping away. But at this point, you need to capitalize. This needs to be the moment where they get around on the board.
Yeah, bit of a role reversal versus traditional Nuke, where T-side is supposed to be the ones chipping away. In part, that will show the sheer prowess of MIBR. One of the best teams in the region for a reason. New look MIBR and the previous one. The new look one is full of promise. Oh, Gabby. So dangerous. She's got a lot of info as well. You can see how urgent the calls are. I think she understood where 2 of the remaining 4 CTs were. That's a lot of information, as well as the frag. Oh, the timing for Danny is so awkward. On the cusp of a headshot. Stroke of luck that PLANO needed. And now Sinan can make a play for information. And she may get a flank in time here as Little Z is holding angles towards that ramp. This is not the time. Oh, actually with 2 plays left, maybe it was. But either way, a round win, very important for PLANO. And that damage you mentioned earlier may actually have a part to play in what remains of this half if they can get that consecutive round.
Yeah, gorgeous round for PLANO, but really for Sinan as well. Has been a little bit quieter. Again, you know, I spoke about how her anchoring is one of the big things that we like to talk about, and she didn't really have that opportunity on our first map on Dust2. So to see that she's having more of a chance here to show up in that way, really great for her. And I'd like to see that continue for the rest of this half. You know, a couple more rounds here, we could potentially go in with an evened out scoreline, and that for PLANO, while not the ideal scenario, would certainly be a pretty good one to try to springboard off of in the second half.
Different look being shown from MIBR then, as they will offer grenades into that A-bomb site, but will they follow up behind it? I'm not sure if Gabby got stuck there either way. She's been dropped by Sophia, who finds the second one. That's so important. Reggie unable to trade after there is a revenge frag. Now Younger's the last one left. 1v4 made 3. Good amount of time, however, she does not have the bomb. Every frag will count here. He's found an angle through the smoke, catching Sophia off guard. And then there were 2. That's half the information, tagged down to 14. She has the angle. Does Little Z there go for the repeat here? Younger wondering where the second one was, and in the game of chicken, she will move first. That's an important round for PLANO. That's a really big round. This could turn their fortune if they can continue the good favor for the remainder of this half.
I love that little bit of aggression as well. You want to keep things fresh, or as fresh as possible. You want to be doing things that are, you know, perhaps a little bit unexpected. And so for Bokor to be going all the way out into outside, almost into the T spawn, you're really catching them off guard. And I think the timing on that was great as well, because you're catching them just as that util's been thrown. And now MIBR, you know, they have to regroup so that they can actually go for that exec. So perfect timing on that, perfect opening frag. And Sophia does great work on the site as well. 2 beautiful kills that required a little bit of an adjustment in aim. Obviously, you know, I mentioned she's someone that we've highlighted previously for being an incredible standout player. So unsurprising to see that she shows up in that moment and allows a PLANO yet another round. And now finally, the tables have turned and it's MIBR who are in a bit of an economic slump.
Younger trying to close the distance. Little Z finds herself in trouble and her teammate will wipe out everybody else. Crisis averted. Last Nuke Round is a good one. MIBR's lead is reduced to just the 1 round.
Seven-5 half wouldn't be terrible. It would still be very difficult for a PLANO in the second. But to get these next few rounds would certainly give them a little bit more breathing room, particularly if they struggle to, you know, get that pistol round and maintain. Because they won that first pistol and it got pulled away from them. So if they could get to 7 here, get that pistol round, they're in with a real fighting chance. But I think without that pistol, things start to look quite devastating.
All right then,
Splash.
how do they solve this one? Oh, Little Z misses the first one. Rezjan needs to be able to find a way to play off of this. And Molly's going to be a problem. That's going to give them a 1v1 though versus Rezjan. So this is really awkward for a PLANO. Does Little Z get sprayed through the smoke? Surely she does. They're getting the frags and she's still standing somehow. Gabby and Poppins. It'll be the knife to finish her off in the smoke. 2 versus 3, absolutely winnable for MIBR. And again, they, in terms of timing and patience on this T side, they are very good with that. That'll be a problem, but Bokor has a impressive angle here. Poppins still trying to bait. Oh, Poppins! How on earth has she done that? Showing some shoulder, there was no response, and still she delivers the goods. Down to a 2-on-2. Sophia jiggling. Can she stop the bomb planter though? There is the trade. Gabby does not know where Sinon is coming from. Up the ladder she goes, and it's going to be guesswork. Gabby rounds the corner, spotted by Sinon. Surely this one's in the bag now for the CTs. Indeed it is. They will tie the score. There's some BM as well. Sinon's got something to say in this series.
All right, evening out that scoreline, 5-5, and PLANO with the comeback. Very, very cool stuff from them. I really enjoyed watching that round as well. I love the way that PLANO played it. They know that Lil Z is going to get, you know, she's going to be heavily under fire after missing that first shot. I will say MIBR's flashes at the start of that round were fantastic. So oppressive. Lil Z cannot find an opening. And then they attempt to flush her out with the Molotov. She sticks it out, manages to, you know, extinguish the flames, but it gives Reggiane an opportunity to push forward, get a kill, pull back. You got a real push and pull going on there, and ultimately they win out on the trade battle. So they go into that in a 3 versus 2, and yes, it does get dangerously close, but Sinon has the angle and she can get that final kill. And on top of that, she also had like full HP. So even if she had taken a little bit of damage in that fight, maybe caught that player unawares, and you know it turns into a bit of a spray battle, she's got the advantage. So I think that PLANO played that round very well and responded to the unknowns really well.
50-50 goes in Gabby's favor on this occasion. Sinon's got so much to do. Down to the pistol, looking for more as well. Team are here. PLANO building a score now on their CT side. These rounds are so important for them. It's looking really ropey, especially after round 2, but they have been able to stabilize. We'll see if they've got one more round in them. MIBR on the full buy now. No AWP. The 5 AKs may offer a more prompt round from them. Let's see what they choose to do. Delivering some util in spawn. But a person who knows the smokes. There's a gap there for Bokor. Not sure if it will stay there. She will go fishing. Trying to deny that rotation then. But they're still alive though. Smoke break. Nobody showing. So at least one team's made their way over, which may compromise the CT somewhat and force a rotation. Now we'll see. Okay, Goddess and Poppins will be going down a secret position. No CT's lower just yet. Now a third T will make their way over. What is the CT response to this? All those PLANO players upstairs will hear the footsteps below. And Younger's lurking to try and punish the rotation, but the smokes are still up. Just as Bokor looks away, Younger will drop her. But in the meantime, PLANO have the personal advantage. 4-on-2. Gabby creeping around that hut now, as Younger will join her with the bomb. They have got a lot of fragging to do. Surely they're going to have to go and try and force some fights before these CTs collapse on them. Double the personnel. That will be a problem. Younger and Gabby versus the world. Bomb is ticking. There are 4 kits on this 4 CTs. Huddled together, moving through main for the most part. Younger and Gabby focused on heaven. They don't know where they're meeting, but most of these players are coming from. But maybe they hear these footsteps now. Younger with 2 more coming her way, trying to isolate this fight. To see her strafing, but there's too many women on road. And it will be a 7th round for PLANO as we head to halftime.
Still see your things in my apartment. Really need places where your heart went. Traces of your life got me thinking maybe you love me, but that's just how it started. Warning things and problems that I don't need. Your toothpaste, your cigarettes, and heartbeat. Taught me to whisper when I'm sleeping, saying you love me, but that was just a daydream. Hearts on full and hearts on wine. You were standing right in front of me. Museum of our lost time, where you had me on display, yeah. All the while I wonder why never saw you in the daytime. Feel through glass, I almost tried. Now you keep me in your archives. Now you keep me in your archives. Now you keep me in your archives. Won't be a memory in the making. Be with me, you care, it's not the same thing. Your tricks and fake outs won't faze me. So much stronger now than when we started. You seem surprised at what I'm saying. Your eyes want me like you're playing some game that I'm not a part of. Saying you love me, but that was just a daydream. Hearts on full and hearts on wine. You were standing right in front of me. Museum of our lost time, where you had me on display, yeah. All the while I wonder why
You know we're never gonna stop. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time.
Well, seems this time around the comeback is not cosmetic. PLANO bring it back from a 5-1 to a 7-5, but it's going to take a whole lot more if they want to win this map. They now move on to their T side, the most difficult side when it comes to this map at any rate. Can they make that magic happen?
Swinging towards main, one spotted. Not over committing to anything though. Regian is a raid boss on this T side for this round, P250 and Kevlar. So PLANO look to make things very awkward for MIBR. Good timing for Younger though, good positioning. Trying to find a second towards the ramp. Danny will pick up the reins in that respect as Gabby is just holding an angle on the side, catches 2 for free. No one checking as they are laser focused on that left entrance. And that may just shut down the round again. You make a mistake and it will prove fatal versus MIBR. Regian needs the round of her life now. She's made footsteps. They know where she is, so things will only get worse.
And this was the big concern that I had, right? If a PLANO gets 7, but don't win the pistol, sure, they've got a little bit of breathing room, but is it going to be enough? They weren't able to get a bomb planted, so they don't have that extra bit of cash here. So we're looking at MIBR evening out the score line and PLANO only really being able to fight back in the next round. Now, we did see MIBR win one of these rounds literally in the first half. So perhaps PLANO can do something similar here.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No.
Cannon fodder. Brought water pistols to a helicopter gunship fight. It will not last very long on that one. Pair of 7s then. The score is tied early. PLANO will pull the rifles out and some utility with Galil's in tow when necessary. And now this is what I was looking for. This is my measure of PLANO. What their T side looks like. Their executes, their different looks. Can they get that 5v4 and pull the CTs out of position? Or get to secret and pull the CTs into positions they may not want to go? Can they set the pace on their T side? MIBR are known to be active on their CT side where possible. Very quickly heading towards secret. Plenty of sound cues for MIBR towards secret on the main roof, and Bokor is punished by Goddess. That is one threat taken away. No lurker for the rotations later on then. Dealt with very quickly indeed. That will be something to consider for later on. PLANO trying to control the ramp aggression for the time being. They've got one more molly in the hands of Regian. She'll drop it to a teammate to hold her angles. 3v5 retake then. MIBR have been patient and they have not lost anybody just yet. They'll have to be more patient. Plenty of defuse kits for this squad. Look at all their util as well. They've basically got a smoke for every choke point on this bomb site, save the one they're coming through. So, not sure how much PLANO can do. Look at those numbers. Like a T side, safety in numbers. Little Z can see absolutely nothing. Plenty of cover for the bomb diffuser as well. And they'll just about get there. So if you look at the T side for MIBR, when they made plays down secret, they had a lurker upstairs to try and cut off that rotation for the CTs. So PLANO in that round basically charged down secret, had somebody on the main roof there, Bokor, I wouldn't say a lurker because everybody was elephant stomping, drops down to take the fight with the main player, and then they lose that ability to cut off the rotation from certain angles. So a different approach in that particular round. The bomb plant will allow some investment for PLANO, but it won't be a full one. They've got a hero, Galil, and a bunch of pistols for round 16.
And this puts them in a really, really treacherous spot because MIBR are a stone's throw away from double digits. They've already pulled back the lead. This round should be pretty much in the bag for them, relatively uncontested, unless, you know, the two Tech 9s can do something. But they are posturing for an outside push here, so unlikely to really have too many opportunities. Oh, but the Tech 9 is heading into the A site, and Sinan's already managed to pick one up. Not going to be able to recover a weapon, but that's some potential space garnered.
Yeah, they've got a really good chance for the bomb plant here, especially stopping Gabby from getting a multi-frag on that B bomb site. That was a very tight choke point. It was a run at 20 times. I think a fair amount of the time she'll get 2, maybe even 3 frags there. But after that frag into Squeaky, they had a very good chance to get a bomb plant. They've done that, and now they've got a chance to win the round. 4-3, and MIBR maybe looking to not throw the good money after the bad. And this is such an important ability, and it's one of the many things which separates MIBR from most of the squads in a region is the clarity of mind to understand when to cut the losses. When your win percentage is so low that it's just better to hold on to what you have. 3 players alive, you can always buy around 3 players. But that's a very difficult decision to make. A lot of people will get tunnel vision and lose too much there. But MIBR will make that clean cut and get away with plenty.
I love that this one. Look, obviously you give MIBR their credit for pulling back and opting not to push into that unnecessarily. They'd lost some weapons. They'd already lost a few players. You don't want to push that if there isn't a guarantee that you at least have a good shot at winning it out. But the fact that PLANO managed to get that first Tech 9 kill, followed up by the Deagle kill, which means that they have that numbers advantage. They can plant the bomb, set up post-plant position, and MIBR can't really do much to stop them. That's a fantastic round, but we need to see more of it. And unfortunately, that's not the kind of round that you can replicate. That's a flash in the pan, we threw them off guard and surprised them kind of round. And we need something with a bit more substance if they're going to find a way to pull this map back into their control. They've at least evened out the scoreline though, so a little bit of room to work with again.
Nice work. Just spotted the tip of the AK. Make that visualization a little easier. Younger willing to take another swipe at these players. And it's such a luxury for the AWPer in these positions because you can just reset post up again in all kinds of places, all kinds of different angles. That will continue to be a problem for PLANO to solve. Waiting for a peek now, waiting for a curious CT. Go a little too far somewhere else. MIBR don't need to do much exploring. They've got a 5 versus 3. And there are almost 25 seconds on the clock here. Regian dropped, Sinan and Little Zed remain. They are somehow still carrying the bomb as Sinan manages to catch 2. Molly up towards heaven. But Younger has an angle already. Not sure if she's been hurt. Oh, that's the bomb up the ladder. That's the end of the round. There's no way Sinan can get there. And MIBR will move to 9.
I get PLANO, I feel like, have decent ideas. You watch how a round starts, you look at their posturing, where their positioning is, how they're rotating, and you start to think, all right, you've got some really good ideas. But the execs are unfortunately where they seem to kind of fall apart, right? Timings are so important. Understanding, you know, once smoke blooms, how long it is until that smoke dissipates, how much time you have. Realizing that you need to have someone watching because what if that smoke, you know, what if it doesn't dissipate? Cool, but somebody could just push through it kind of thing. You need to be cognizant of all of these small moving parts. And for MIBR, they seem to have a really good grasp on it. But for PLANO, for a team that has been pushing the top teams for as long as they have, we're still seeing a lot of gaps in their fundamentals, which is a little disappointing. But hopefully we'll see that tighten up a little bit, yeah. Especially because now, you know, the pressure is back on 9-8. This is the potentially last buy for a good handful of rounds. This is where they need to step up, and it's make or break. You either crumble under the pressure or you step up.
Of course, sending it with the MAC-10. So fun to make plays like that. So frustrating to be on the receiving end of it. PLANO charging down Secret. Gabby forced out into the open. Does Boko have the swing in her now as Gabby looks to hunt, making plenty of noise to attract focus while Danny comes around from main to exploit that focus on Gabby. And again, it's the little things that make for a very strong team. And you just saw one there from MIBR. 4-on-4 now as Younger's looking for the flicks. She's stuck in the window, tried to escape, but that didn't work out for her. Maybe the opportunity PLANO needed to stay in the fights here. And again, they're forcing MIBR to cut their losses. Maybe a frustrating round for MIBR now. Forced to concede another one. PLANO not done with this game just yet. A very important round for them to win.
Yeah, I mean, much better from them as well. Better, you know, movement, getting in onto the site, getting those opening kills. This time around, again, they kind of go for that wrap around. I say A wrap around. I suppose it's outside towards A, wrapping around. I'm sure there's a better word for that path thing. But anyway. And again, it doesn't quite get the results that they want, but it does create a little bit of a distraction, a little bit of space that they can take control of, and they bring themselves up to an evened out score line. And for MIBR, okay, still a fair amount of money to play with into this round. They're still obviously going to have that AWP in play, but winning this round for PLANO would break MIBR's economy. And I feel like this would have been a great opportunity to take a timeout. Yes, it's only been a few rounds, but you want to kind of stamp that out as quickly as possible. However, it seems that they are feeling fairly confident with their understanding of PLANO's game plan. So maybe they can push back here as we take a very aggressive position, try to catch them off.
Wild swings from Danny. Gabby on the other side of the smoke. Look at how they are cleaning up. Again, the two-person setups from MIBR. Allowing a 3-on-2. Younger says she's still here. And again, she's got rifle support once more. And the whole squad's here. That bomb needs to be picked up by PLANO. Little Z running distraction while Boko tries to get into position. Goddess is looking for a rotator. She may have the superior angle now. Indeed she does. Boko's too close to the corner. Surely. Oh, that timing is incredible. Goddess looks away just as Boko surfaces. But how does she solve this? She's got to try and bait the shot. She does. Unfortunately, it hits her as well. 10-9, MIBR in the lead once more.
Another phenomenal round from Younger as well. I mean, she's definitely been a standout performer this evening across both maps. She just continues to be a problem. Reversing into the AWP sideline there. Bit unfortunate. So I was saying that it would have been nice to have seen MIBR go for a timeout there, but I suppose they had a handle on it and they realized, all right, cool, let's take a bit more aggressive positioning, let's push into them and kind of stop them from taking any space. Now PLANO have to go for an aggressive play themselves.
Chain flashes into the A-bomb site. Danny and Poppins are dropped 3-on-3. That'll favor the T's though as Sophia comes through to drop Gabby. Very important frag. Younger waiting at the ladder, but does she risk losing the AWP? Just Younger now. It might be have lost grasp of this. They can't contain PLANO like they did in the previous map. They just keep fighting back again. It looks like a simple rush into the A-bomb site, but nothing is simple about Nuke. The chain flashes are so important there. MIBR can't see anything apart from white, like brand new bed sheets. Completely blind on that A-bomb site, and PLANO exploit them for it. Better timing on that main roof on this occasion. Catching Gabby as well. Crucial kill. Younger forced to save the AWP. 20 frags for Younger. Back and forth we go, 10-10.
This is fantastic. This is the close game that I was hoping we'd have when we came into our first map. And it was a little bit of a blowout series. So I'm glad that PLANO have kind of found their footing a little bit better. They're fighting back. That was a great round from them. Yes, it was just kind of hyper aggression with a lower buy and a Mac 10. But, you know, well-placed utility really facilitates what that Mac 10 is able to do. And MIBR, they're trying to play that more kind of aggressive in-your-face style. And PLANO run them over a little bit. Now MIBR are in a bit of a tight spot in terms of, you know, cash. Goddess is just on a pistol. You've got 2 MP9s that are backing up the AWP and the 1 M4. This could be a treacherous round to come out on top of. And yes, we've seen MIBR do a hell of a lot more with a hell of a lot less. But PLANO now starting to build momentum, starting to feel comfortable, starting to get a good read into what it takes to win these rounds. But we go back now into hitting the brakes, slowing things down. And some of these slower rounds have been treacherous for PLANO in the past. Perhaps they can navigate this one that little bit better. A good belt of utility to work with, but only 2 smokes.
We're heading towards that 40-second mark where the heat suddenly rises. And look at all the utility PLANO have been holding on to. A completely different pace for them. But if something goes wrong in this time, then who knows? And something is going wrong. The 5-7 and the MP9 come through for a 3-on-3. Gabby with the off angle. She can play this patiently. Drops one, almost drops the second one. Bow corner, 1 versus 2. Low on bullets, low on health. And behind now as MIBR move to 11. That was an interesting one from PLANO. Again, tons of util, but creeping around main didn't have the angles to use all of those mollies. On a map like Train, those late plays are really scary for a CT side if they don't know where that push is coming through. Up close with the 5-7 again, where suddenly things are urgent, trying to charge the site and so on, can easily go wrong. And it did. What does that leave them with? No bomb plant, and suddenly in the late stages, in the clutch rounds, PLANO find their backs to the wall. Mostly pistols for the squad. I'm not sure if there's anything on the floor to be collected. Doesn't look like it. 3 Tech 9s, 2 AKs, no mollies. This looks disastrous for PLANO. It's going to be really hard to keep going from here, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I was already a bit concerned with the previous round with the fact that they only had those 2 smokes, and sure, they had a slew of flashes, but it didn't really set them up in the way that they'd wanted, and now they come into this with even less than before. The comeback here is starting to look nigh on impossible. Now, they do have those 3 Tech 9s, and it was a Tech 9-esque round that managed to propel them into this potential, or maybe not a full runaway train, but where they were finally carving rounds.
All right, here they go. Okay, yeah, I mean, this is so rough. I mean, Little's on the roof. Like, no one can afford a Molotov is really rough. I think maybe even give Little's a Glock and spend that money if there's enough on getting a molly somewhere. Just, you've got to find some ways to compromise the positions of these CTs, because so likely you're going to be making a play towards A here with limited funds, but they're barely allowed to knock on the door of A. The timing for their economy to be broken is brutal. 12-10, match point for MIBR. No plant again for PLANO. What is left in the tank?
Yeah, disappointing one. I think that for MIBR, realizing that PLANO were going to be in a tight spot economically, knowing that PLANO had done some crazy things with Tech 9s in previous rounds, not wanting to allow that to happen a second time, so they play that a bit more close to the vest. Now we have to see a replication of that again. But PLANO, with so little into this, they gambled everything into that previous round. This is going to have to be perfect. The bit of a distraction being caused over towards ramp, but do MIBR buy into it? Already PLANO have slipped down. Oh, but it's Younger that's here ready and waiting.
Closing the distance, RO PLANO, but can they shut down these angles? Goddess, again, it's a shooting gallery. They've got 2 frags, however. Now Silent is left alone without the bomb, without many options. There is no good option for Silent now. 1 versus 3. A minute on the clock, and you have to walk all the way. You just charge in there, you're a goner. And this journey will take away so much time. He's got to walk through it. Got to take the risk. If she respects the smoke, she's got to pick up the bomb and find 3 people. Can't use util. The only thing to her advantage is her unknown location. So rough for her. And for PLANO towards the end of that series, MIBR were tested in that second half, but came out on top. Very nice work from them, as per usual. The 2-person setups just so they just synergize so well together, shoulder to shoulder.